my channel. So half of 2025 is over, and I thought this was a really good time to come back to my Sakizo build and look at what I have accomplished so far this year, as well as what I have left. From a channel perspective, some great things have actually happened. Just some updates on my channel. So I cannot believe it, but I have just surpassed 1,300 subscribers. Thank you all so much for being here with me. I just love sharing the things that I do, in my opinion, and all the weird little crafty things that I like to do with cosplay. And I'm so honored and touched that so many people are interested in the things that I do and say. So thank you so much for being here. And with that, I have finally opened up some monetization on YouTube, one of which being the merchandise store thing under the videos. I am still playing around with this. You might see some things pop up at the bottom, but some of the merchandise that I sell at my booths at conventions, I've decided to go ahead and recreate on spring.com and put them on these videos for anyone who's interested. No pressure. I know it's very niche, but if anyone does want to pick something up, feel free. Like I said, I am just testing it right now, so there's only a couple of things that I may have figured out to put below this video when this goes up, or may not have, but there will be more things that I put up over time, hopefully relatively soon. So that's kind of cool. I have also opened up memberships. So I just don't think memberships are incredibly relevant at this point in time, with my channel being so small and my inability to spare some time to create any sort of like members only content. I do have some ideas in the works. I think it would be fun to have member specific videos, maybe some more behind the scenes type of things. And I also think it'd be really fun to have like maybe a monthly members only live stream or something like that. I don't exactly know what I want to do just yet, but I am jotting down some ideas and working out how I want it to be. But there will be 4 tiers: novice, journeyman, master, and best in show. I thought that would just be really fun, since most of what I seem to talk about is competition cosplay, so might as well follow the craftsmanship levels. But with that, like, I don't really expect to launch that for quite a while. I did start the novice section just as a test of how to set up memberships and play around with that. I will leave that one live. It's 99 cents to see my videos a day early and then get your name added to like a post-credit scene. No worries on that. I can't, it's okay if no one wants that. But over the next few months, I'll think about some other things. And once I think the channel grows a bit more, I may officially launch some sort of membership for people who are interested in more content from me. If all that sounds fun, think about hitting the subscribe button to see more stuff from me, or track my journey to hopefully competing in the Crown Championships. But yeah, with that amazing channel update, at least I think it's amazing, because when I started this channel, I had like 30 subscribers for a very long time, and then I decided to start posting consistently, and I've seen my channel grow, and that's just been an amazing thing to see. So once again, thank you all for being here, and with that, let's get into the update touch base sort of thing. For those who have not been following me for long or have seen my Path to Crown series, I am making this, which is artwork by a Japanese artist called Sakizo. I will be putting together a longer format video once this whole thing is complete, and I might go into a little more detail about this character and artist, but that's all you need to know right now, is that this is what I'm making. And it has been almost a year exactly since I posted my very first video with any information detailing this costume. On July 24th of last year, I posted a video showing a planner that I am working on. I'm still working on fixing the kinks. It's actually this planner here that is very specific to cosplay builds. I've been working on this planner for over a year, and Sakizo is my test run for the content of this. And I have a couple other competitive cosplay friends of mine who are also testing out this planner to make sure it's useful for them. It is very geared towards competition, but I thought it was a fun tool to help me and maybe help other people who want to get into competition. I do plan to have these available at my booth next year for purchase, but I just want to get some things ironed out. This is not the final design. This is not, none of this is final. This is just my initial thoughts put down on something printed that I'm now testing. So I posted about this a year ago, and what I used for that video was how I'm planning to do my Sakizo build. It's been almost a year since I first started talking about it. However, my very first video detailing anything that I made with it was the duct tape bodice pattern that I made in September. So I posted on September 15th. I don't quite remember exactly when I started this, so I'm actually going to pop back to my planner. Budget. We're not going to talk about the budget. I officially started Sakizo September 3rd, immediately after Dragon Con. And I posted my first video a couple weeks after that. So I have been working on Sakizo for almost a year now. I did take 2 months off in November and December of last year to prep for my guesting appearances at Animate Raleigh and MegaCon Orlando. And I did take a month off mostly in the spring to prepare for my competition with Ravenna. So it has not been a consistent year. I would say that it has been 7 months worth of work so far. The majority of that being in 2025. 2024, I made the bodice pattern and I made the bodice. I made the crinoline, which is quite massive. I did also make the petticoat. I originally made it for Scarlett O'Hara, and then I completely cannibalized that project and just used the same petticoat that I made for her for this, which is totally fine because I never competed with Scarlett O'Hara. And then mid-January, I picked up Sakizo again, so that brings us to the actual 6-month update. So since early to mid-January, I have done nothing but work on the skirt. The bodice was the easy part. That was so easy. Even though the mocking up was a bit of a challenge for me because I hate sweetheart necklines and I really struggled getting that just right. Once I got the pattern, it flew by. I actually remade it. So I made 2 bodices for this last year. In 2024, I made the majority of the base of the first skirt layer, which included the draped edges, which I have a video detailing. I can put it up here somewhere. But in January, while I was at MegaCon Orlando, I was working on the flower smocking for the front of the skirt, and that took me several weeks to do. In addition to that, once that was finished, I got to move on to the skirt panels. I'm just looking at my old videos to see when I posted it. I've been working on these skirt panels since January. I am so done with them, oh my gosh. So the panels, I do have some detailed things about how I made the panels, so I'm not going to go into the details here, but I self-patterned them and I made it what I call my emotional support panel, which was my first test and mock-up of what I want the panels to look like. I tested how I would do the embroidery. I tested how I would stuff the panel to give it some volume, how I would stiffen it. It took me a really long time to find an interfacing that would hold up to the amount of embroidery I was doing on the rame. It was a lot. So that panel is still my emotional support panel, and I am happy to report, as of last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? I forget. That emotional support panel is no longer a placeholder on my build, meaning I have all 7 panels cut out, all of the embroidery done, and almost all of the hand beading done. I have all of the base hand beading done with the gold beads and the sequins, and I decided towards the end, I was going to add some clear beads to the middle to fill it in. I have it done on 5 panels out of 7. I don't think I have enough sequins to finish the last 2. Additional sequins I ordered won't get here until next week. So those 2 panels, I just won't be able to finish yet. But once I do, all of the beading is done on the panels, which means I can move on to finishing the panels, getting the gold edging and the gold backing on, getting them the stuff put in them so that they have some volume, and I can finally move on to the front panel and the waistband and finish this part of the skirt. Oh my God, we are almost there, guys. We are almost there, and I cannot believe it. I am actually going to start working on finishing up the 5 panels tomorrow and save the hand beading for next week, because I'll get really frustrated if I run out of sequins and just can't finish mid-panel. I will tell you, I have timed myself, because I've done 5 of these in a row. I have timed myself. It takes me 30 minutes per section of these clear beads to sew, and I have 5 sections. So it's going to take me 2.5 hours per panel, meaning I only have 5 hours left of hand sewing to do, and I can do that in an evening. We are almost there. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I have been working on just the hand beading for the last 4 months. If any of you have been following me for that long, you know I have been working on that all spring and into the summer, and I am ready to be done with hand beading. So the plan, my lovelies, is to finish up my panels, put them up on the dress, and then invisible stitch the panels together. And then I'm going to make Ooh, we're losing our swatches. And then I'm gonna make this front panel next. I have the fabric, I have the plan, I even have the pattern. Though I have lost quite a bit of weight since I started this, I actually had to take the skirt in, and I was really concerned that the measurements of these panels just wouldn't work anymore, but I didn't think about that till I was halfway into hand beading. And I am happy to say they will work. So thank God for that. I actually think that it narrowed the waistline in a better way, so I have a better proportion with the waist to the bottom of the panel, so it worked out. But I am going to essentially cut out the pink part and the red part and just layer it onto a piece of gold and then satin stitch around it, maybe add some trim over that, I don't really know, and then back it with gold, put some maybe canvas in it, maybe some quilt batting, and then sew it all together into a skirt. And you know what's really funny? Even then, I won't be done with the skirt because there's a fourth layer. The first layer are these ruffles here. I have an entire like petticoat type thing made out of red satin and then some additional ruffles. Because these parts are gathered up, you can peek some of the underneath of the dress, so I just made sure that there was a floor length petticoat of this cream colored satin, so that anywhere that velvet picks up, you're actually going to see that satin instead of my other petticoat or the hoop skirt. So that's one layer underneath. And then on top of that is a second layer, which only contains these, which I made out of velvet, these velvet gathered sections, and it also contains this smocked section here. So it's just that part visible. I sewed that and the petticoat into a single waistband, so it's two skirts in one waistband. I am a little concerned about the weight of that and the weird way I had to take it in, so I'm probably going to add additional lacing and straps to the top to try and hold it up, because it's a lot. I weighed it, it's like 8 or 9 pounds, just that alone, not including the steel hoop skirt. So this skirt is going to be incredibly heavy. Next, we have this part, which consists of these panels. These are the panels I'm talking about with all the embroidery and hand beading and stuff. And then the front panel I still need to make. That's the third layer. In the fourth and final layer, that really shouldn't take me long because it's made exactly like this part down here, so I know exactly what shapes I need to cut out. I just have to do a mock-up. It's this gathered part here behind her sleeve. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, and then that additional fourth under layer. So this will be a total of 4 skirts. And then I'm going to take these panels and this top part of the skirt and put them into a waistband. So there will only be 2 waistbands. And on top of that, I don't have pockets in this, so I'm gonna make myself a leather bag to go with this. So in that waistband underneath this gathered part, I'm gonna sew in a couple of straps with D-rings in it so that I can have a removable purse. I think I'm gonna theme it to this build and do some fun little tooling in it as well. So that's the plan for the skirt. 5 hours to finish out the beading of the other 2 panels. Probably, I'm gonna be generous with myself here. I'm gonna give myself 2 weeks to finish the backs of the panels. I really don't think it'll take me that long, but who knows? I have a business trip coming up the last week of July, the week of my birthday actually. I will be losing out on a week of sewing on these panels. However, my plan is during that week to start exploring crocheting my own lace. So that's something I will try to learn while I'm away and have downtime in the evenings. The next step after all of this, I'm moving back to the leather corset. I am remaking it. I fixed some things that popped up that I didn't like with the other one. I have all the pieces cut out. I just need to tool them and paint and finish them and everything. So I've decided to do that next and do that all in one go. Going back and forth to the leather, I just kept forgetting some of the things I was doing, and I think it made it a little messy, so I just want to sit down and do the leather corset on its own. So that's this white part in here. Once I have that done, the skirt, the bodice, and the leather corset will essentially be done. Can't decide if I want to work on the embellishments on the bodice just yet or just move on to the sleeves and do all embellishments last. But the next step will be to figure that out. But if you look at this, outside of the leather corset, I have the bodice 2/3 of the way through the skirt, I guess we could say. I'm getting there. So here's my thought. So my thought was I was going to apply to compete at C2E2. However, if I finish early, I am also contemplating competing at New York City Comic Con instead. But applications open in September. I just don't know if I will be to a place where I feel comfortable enough competing there. That was the dream competition, New York City Comic Con, but either way, as long as I get to compete in the Crown Circuit, that's all I really want to do. So we are getting there. We are almost there. I estimate this will take me at least until October to finish, which will make this officially the longest build I've ever done, which is to be expected looking at the details and what I want to do to it to make sure that it is worthy of a crown competition. I am actually looking forward to moving on to something other than the skirt. So that is my mid-year check-in. I have done a ton of work, even if it doesn't seem like it. Even if I've been stuck on the same part of the dress for 4 months, a lot of work went into it. A lot of handwork, a lot of beading, a lot of embroidery. Oh yeah, I forgot that I still have the stoning to do. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share with you this week. I hope you enjoyed the update and the ideas I have for a plan going forward. I love sharing these things with you guys, and I'm so excited to keep sharing my build with everyone. So I hope that you enjoy this. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe for more content from me. And of course, if you have any questions about the build or just want to chat about anything cosplay related, of course, drop those down in the comment section below. And with that, I will see you in my next video. Bye!